About anything, but I know that you are, and that's why I flock to you. I wonder how you keep your fingers moving. I wonder how panic and age haven't managed to stand in the way of keeping your writing from improving. When I was a boy, I loved to draw outside of the lines, and in my dinosaur coloring books, I had a mind for how the pterodactyls were supposed to look, so I took all of the brightest colored crayons and held them all in my hands and made the ideas mine. Drew an image into the idea of what being God is like if I want to distort this image. Well, I made it, didn't I? I created it, didn't I? I turned a blind, ignorant eye as a child to signs you can't miss when you're older. I betrayed faith to logic and age, and even though you can't look past these walls, you can still turn a cold shoulder. Well, the truth will set you free, but there's been more fear and freedom than there ever was in infancy. So send the sinner to the saint. Do you ever wish that the dealer shuffled your cards a different way? Inside of an inebriated city, the gutters sank from underneath our feet in the form of steam that made its way up to the manholes, split into lines in the sand by steel bars beneath the beat. You were made of water, just the same as concrete, and most of the time I towed the line, but tonight I fell off of it completely, so send the saint to the sinner, yeah. These streets defeat me. We all wrote our songs on all of our hearts before we poured them into yours, and they made their way from ink on a page to words uninhibited by lips on a stage, to ink beneath your pores. Well, my great-grandfather would have never bothered to ask what my arms mean, but he'd have been damned before he'd have ever been seen publicly the way that he died privately, and she told me that her God was beautiful. Yeah, but I have not complained of every ugly thing that he's done, that he does, for the sake of saving face. But if there is such a thing as grace, well then I must presume either that I have not earned it, or he's exhausted it all on you. So don't you worry about a thing. I'm sure that your God's got you like a puppet on a string. Don't you worry about anything. I'm sure our gods have got all of us all like puppets on their strings. And she had a stained glass window for a heart, a shoebox for a chest cavity, and a kaleidoscope for a soul that'll reflect its light back at you. So depending upon the day, she showed different colors. She had a handful of favorites she kept locked inside her cupboard. She's got drawers in her stomach. Knows how to swallow her pride, but it gets compartmentalized into crawl spaces and builds up inside. She says she's fine, but she lies. She wears sunglasses all of the time to try to hide her horizon at night. She stays out of the shadows. It's one of the only times that her true colors shine. She said, look, you're talking about me like you know what I mean, but you know nothing. Nothing at all about leading my life. So look, baby doll, my heart is as black as my lungs are. I keep bitterness in these cabinets next to all my bad habits. You either find faith or lose it. You either had it or have it, and I have had it. So I'll wear my smiles on the good days that I keep in these baskets, wear my grimmest face in life without the opiate for the masses. You all pop your God! Like these pills that I take to bear the circumstances. What is the difference? I call it out to your God, but he never listened. You call it praying? Cool, I'm just wishing that things would have been different. She said her daddy didn't want her, so she squanders to be the mother-father figure for her daughter. A piece of clay, recreating herself as this beautiful basin from the situation that she's been placed in, built for retaining life, a feet manufactured without the proper water or a potter, and her heart, it cuts like a knife. It's priceless, and it's as hard as a diamond, but she's been selling it for nickels, and everybody's been buying. Now there's cracks in the basin, the way there's cracks in the basement, the place that daughter's daddy beat her in, and she dare face it, the way there's cracks in that cement that she can dig her high heels in, while she waits for another customer to come and pour his water in. She said her mama was a little bit crazy, a little lazy, a little biased towards the media mainstream, prone to feigning or naming and feigning when she'd pass out after blazing, just after Papa came home late for the hazing. The alcohol made him crazy! That's when I started praying, but nothing started changing. That's when I started blaming. We are all on our own. We're all on our own. You're all alone! There's nothing in those stars! There is no hand out there to save me. Could you save her? Save me. She loved Vogue and American teen magazines almost as much as she loved vomiting. Trying to match the amount of women that she'd see on the movie screen. So look, I believe that she loved me, and maybe it's a fantasy, but I think that she cared for me like she cared for methamphetamines. Don't tell me I need saving! You point your fingers so righteously, all these people, pushing at me to practice their piety. Well, I gave your God a chance to save me, so thank you kindly, greatly, but it's just me and my baby, me and my little girl, us against the world. So sweet dreams, daughter. I'm gonna be your mother. I'm gonna be your father. And every time another man just like her father bought her, she spent the nickels on diamonds for her daughter. She had prisms for eyes. And one time she took off her mask and let me inside. I paid her for her time, told her that she was valuable, and she replied, I know, I'm about as valuable as the next man in line. I came to tell you you're beautiful, okay? I think that you're lovely. I think that you're made for more than you settled for. She said all of them. Every single one of them tell me that they love me! I used to dream. I used to have big plans. I used to believe that there was somebody out there that was bigger than me, and that he would take care of me, and that I could grow up to be whatever I wanted to be. But I guess it's too late for me. So I started selling my dignity to give my daughter that dream, and to make it a reality. I used to dream. I never meant to quit. Who's to blame for this bullshit? But girl, I will not ever mention it. The hands that were dealt, I don't understand. And I don't have all the answers, and I don't know all the plans. I just wanted to tell you you're beautiful, okay? I think that you're lovely. I think I know love that loves the unloving. She said, you told me your God was gorgeous, but I just can't see it. I want so badly to see color. I want so badly to believe it. I keep an ounce of hope inside of one dresser drawer in my chest. Every now and then, it grows if watered to a seedling at best. And one time, it grew and it stretched through the cracks, all the way into the next, but I just can't make it blossom, as I just can't make myself forget, and now there's nearly nothing left. She's got a kaleidoscope soul, she's got grayscale lenses, she's got wrought iron bars that make up her defenses, she's got all her emotions hung up on hooks in her closets. She's got little hints of happiness tucked away inside her locket. She's got high hopes of heaven stapled to the doors of her cabinets. She wraps the hopes up in packets of personal baggage to mask it. She's got angels singing to her from the lips of ballerinas in a music box. And she keeps locked behind this door. It's cemented to a heart of rocks, but if you knock long enough, they say that door could be open. Here's to hope, and until then, I just wanted you to know that you're beautiful. I think that you're lovely. I think that you're made for more than you settled for, she said. I know, but all of them tell me that. All of them tell me that they love me, but I swear you're gorgeous. I swear to God it's true. I swear that there is more hope out there for you. 17 years younger and as carefree as he can be. That tricycle rolls around Date Street over all of his father's worries. How he smiled when he saw that tricycle. How he smiled when I saw that tricycle. How his heart melted over his bipolar soul when his seed learned to ride that tricycle. Bicycle, how he smiled. And his smile grew wider as he ran behind that bicycle, holding the seat of that bicycle while his seed screamed, "Don't let go of me and my bicycle!" How his chemicals got the best of him when he finally let go and his independent son learned to ride on his own. How his seed pedaled further and further down the street, and he watched, and he would have liked to believe that his eyes beamed with pride. They beamed with sadness, and those wheels kept on spinning past need and dependency. I picture my dad, healthy, sitting next to my mother behind a closed bedroom door where I can't see, and he stares down at his hands, and he buries his face in them, and he's wondering where the time goes, where the end of 4 years left him without a bike to hold on to, while his boy rides the red and silver memory down the street, wondering where his gift of a bike that he can't hold on to anymore will take his boy. I hear the chemicals rip apart at that feeling of being wanted that he kept close to his heart, and he can't take his eyes off of his cracked fingers, that his seed doesn't need to steady the seat anymore, because his boy can do it on his own. I wanted to tell the tale as detailed as the demons did, with those 4 white walls as their canvas. Well, my father's father was a failure! And his mother loved her lover more than she loved her sons. My father's nearing the end of a good fight that he fought since the beginning. A far better man than the one he feared he might become. Glendora will always be the place his brain fragmented, and China will always be the place that he felt whole. Beijing will be the place that the devil tried to fight it, and my mother will always be the window to his soul. I just wanted him to grow old together, to sit on the front porch of their home together, to reminisce about how my sister always was and always is gonna be the far more responsible child. To laugh about how much we've grown. You were supposed to marry me and Brandy. You're supposed to walk your daughter down the aisle and give her to a man that you trust enough to take care of your little girl. You gotta see the smile on her face when she sees the smile on Mom's face, when she sees the smile on your face, and you give away your world. We're all riding our bicycles through these streets, and we're all gradually letting go. I know it doesn't make it any easier, but you're not the failure that your parents were, and I would have never learned to ride on my own. But how frail are these bodies? And with your hand turned against me, we blossom like a flower and then wither in the winter. And like a passing shadow, we quickly disappear. If I hold my head high, you hunt me like a lion. And even if I try, I can't feel you when you say that you're near. My days fly faster than the Reaver's shuttle, and they end without hope. You, my lucky man, have been privileged to joy and cope in the same suffering that your Savior claims that he knows. And who are you to challenge your Creator? Surely resentment destroys the fool, and have you ever commanded the morning into daylight's transition into evening's cool? All I know is that we're all houses that somebody crafted for a reason. Some of our paint is chipping, and we wither with the seasons, but all of us branches are prone to decay. So was it an honorable man or a cruel hand that made us this way? I am a house that creaks and groans, and all of my bones don't shake. I got a cornerstone that I call my own, but I stumble on it every day. And the one that made me a home, the builders rejected and threw away on some days. I am tempted to follow suit and uproot my faith. You built up your identity as a failure, gave ear to demons, legions, screaming, some father you are. Some husband, some friend, some pastor, some man, some Christian, some leader, some lover, some missionary, some change that you turned out to be in the end. Just look at the work of your hands. Left for dead to survey the damage. I wanted to tell the tale as detailed as the devil did, with those 4 white walls as his canvas, but I finally started to believe that God was going to heal my dad. And it took took years to get there, but I heard rumors of rest for the heavy laden, and you do not have a savior unable to sympathize with your weaknesses. There are liars inside your mind that laid claims to destroy your life, and there are monsters inside your heart that dug in their talons and became a part of you, but there is mercy every single morning. And to the burden there is rest, and that promise overwhelms the deepest bouts of doubt and consciousness. All I want is for joy to replace the pain inside those irises. All my dad wants is to ride his bike again. The one with the basket on the back. And I sat in as a kid, and we'd ride by the fire stations. And the firemen would blare their horns for me from their fire trucks. And I would know what it was to trust and practice faith like a child. You guys remember what it is to practice faith like a child? I know you're ready to go home, but if you could withstand the test of time, Job will sing out in the choir that we are the blink of an eye pleading there is rest. And this is not who you are. The way the light is not characterized by shadow, the dark, or the depth of his stars. Singing my pain is significant, but it did not make me savior. In resurrection, you are made in the image and likeness of your creator. So be joy, and may it be for the glory of the Lord, because God, if there is a point to this, I don't see it anymore. But I believe in providence and sovereignty and something bigger than you and me and history and the way these generational curses circle around and rip apart at the seams of my family. Be rest. Oh my God, please, please be rest. As for me, when I was 6 years old, I saw my first Goosebumps episode. On Nickelodeon. You're doing great. We're all doing great. I did that to a girl one time, I was gonna say on accident. It wasn't an accident, in Texas, and, yeah. And she just cried for the entire remainder of my set. Not like little tears, not like little drips, like weeping on the ground. And that stupid TV show made me so scared of werewolves I was afraid to walk into the dark for months on end. I guess not a whole lot has changed since then, except for now, these monsters are personified within, and I go to sleep with them, and I cuddle with them, and I dream about them, and I pretend that I'm 7 years old, once that fear has finally gone away, until I saw my father's ghost inside my childhood home's window panes, and some silent, shadowed matter followed me around the halls of my house when I was 8, so I held on to the belief there's something dark lurking around my family to this day. And I used up all 999 lives, so by the 10th time I die, I'm gonna be right by your side, and we'll both agree that we tried to land on our feet. Poor boy. I don't even believe in demons. I know, man. I know. Me neither. Nobody does. Nobody believes in demons until you've seen them. But I don't smoke that ganja. And I'm not gonna smoke that ganja because, one, I don't believe it's what I need. Two, I got married in April of last year to my beautiful wife, and my beautiful wife would freaking kill me. And three, all of my friends already smoked enough of that weed for 2 or 3 of my lifetimes, and I fell apart while I watched them fall apart. So I figure I got enough falling apart in my system already, and I'm scared for my family. I'm scared the werewolves are gonna keep attacking my dad. They already bit him to death! And the swelling spread to my mom's side of the bed. I've been thinking way too hard lately about getting some meds to help clear up this depression. It's clouding my head, but those tiny little red and white and black and blue and green and yellow and orange pills scare me half to death. When I was little, my mom, she hung this elephant on my wall. This is the mic stand, but it could be an elephant. A purple, like knitted, terrifying elephant on a wall, right? And I had to pray to God that it wouldn't eat me in my sleep. I'm getting a little older now and still learning what I think about those depressive tendencies. And I know with all my heart that the same God that kept me alive then is the same one that holds my hand when I'm weak. And he gives me hugs when I weep. And I don't want smoke to be the reason for my rock and roll. And I don't want substance to be the reason my body bleeds. Prone to wander! Lord, I feel it! But if you'd hold on to me, I promise I'll do my best to keep on trying to believe. So come thou fount of every blessing, and tune my heart to sing your praise. Streams of mercy never, ever, ever, ever ceasing. Call for songs of loudest praise. So teach me some melodious sonnet, sung by flaming tongues above. And praise your name, I'm fixed upon it. The name of Christ's redeeming love. It's like the Spirit answered all of my prayers, and now I resent him for it. I used to take so much time for myself to just sit and be silent. I haven't heard that sound in years, but I've replaced it with a lot of voices that claimed to be God. The first poem I ever wrote was about San Francisco and Hippie Hill and the homeless and what I was told. I was 12 years old and I rhymed poor white bro with chips from Nabisco given to a beggar as he pushed his cart down the road. That boy got buried at Hayton Ashbury beneath the Ben & Jerry's. And a big city and a pretty girl is the only thing he needs to get his heart to beating again. Well, this all used to be for nothing and no one. And now I shout, transparency! But I miss every single one of my secrets. I would rather know pain than be numb, but then again, we ask for the opiates to numb the pain for us. Well, I always fall asleep to dream of mending up my wounds, and wait to spend the day reliving every bruise for the sake of a sad song, or a sweet repose, or seeing the blood flow from the stitching, like it were a cavalry of demons in retreat, promising to leave me alone. They're liars! The release has never been as satisfying as the promise to fix what's been sown. We get bottled up like the alcohol gets bottled up, and then we bottle it up in us. And I search for ways to define myself by some skeptical lack of trust, because if I can't trust in anything, I'm not to blame for my lack of movement. And I can abuse you and all of your pity, and I can convolute it. My sister used to sing when she was younger, but the world had got at her throat, and she put that dream away while coming of age acted as a serpent and questioned her home. When I was younger, I wanted to be a cowboy. And then I wanted to be Superman. And then I wanted to wear my fake snakeskin cowboy boots over my red inside-out underwear bath towel Superman costume and be cow man. I'm a cow! Man said all of my fantasies about my wife-to-be are based upon things I should have never seen. Our fantasies about our wives-to-be are based on positions it should have never been. Idolized by our eyes. Worshipped as though they gave us life, but that's the nature of the beast. And he still squirms next to wisdom as she screams, clawing for me on the streets. And how does life begin as a seed that turns out to scream for something? Like someone misnamed gift for to be inherently found wanting. If there is so much joy to be had, then tell me where I went wrong, because for all the times I tried to satisfy my mom, I still cannot write one joyful song. So Mom, I tried. And come October, I thought that I could do it. But November threw us into a whirlwind again, and come January, I knew it. All the things that I told my fans about the hope that I had found are lying in a hotel bathroom in a puddle of blood on the ground. And somebody will love it because it's honest! Somebody will hate it because it's crude. And as for me, every time I stand and give my testimony before a crowd, I will lie awake at night and wonder about whether or not